Geert Wilders is the longest-serving MP in the Netherlands. Since 1998, he has operated as a thorn in the side of Dutch centrism, railing against Islam, immigration, the EU, and increasingly his own coalition partners. He's not merely a politician, but a brand. The Dutch Trump with a better vocabulary and a worse haircut. His Freedom Party, the PVV, has long campaigned to halt all asylum, close Islamic schools, and ban the Quran. He was convicted of discrimination after calling for fewer Moroccans in a 2014 rally, a statement so inflammatory it managed to offend both legal norms and basic decency. And yet, in 2023, he won. Wilders topped the national election, not because the Dutch suddenly became fascists, but because of a potent blend of frustration with mainstream parties, fears over housing and healthcare, and a cynical conflation of immigration and national decline. I suppose we're familiar with all that. The Netherlands, statistically speaking, is hardly drowning in asylum seekers. In 2024, it received fewer applications per capita than Germany or Belgium, yet immigration has become a lightning rod, a metaphor for every social anxiety, overcrowded hospitals, soaring rents, Islamic extremism, and cultural change. And Wilders exploits this anxiety not with solutions but slogans. His promise to deliver Europe's strictest asylum policy included proposals such as using the army to patrol borders and forcibly closing all asylum centres. Unsurprisingly, coalition partners have balked, not because they are bleeding heart liberals, but because Wilders' plan likely violates EU law, Dutch precedent, and basic human dignity. His withdrawal yesterday from the coalition, framed as a noble principle, was in truth a tactical sulk, and the Freedom Party's ministers had the migration portfolio and still failed to produce a coherent policy. It was less a coup and more a tantrum in slow motion. Now, here's the paradox. Wilders has never been more powerful and never more dangerous to himself. He toppled a government he helped form just weeks before a NATO summit in The Hague, where defence spending and another of his favourite punching bags is under the spotlight. The move may backfire. Polls suggest his party remains the largest, but not by a landslide. Coalition making in the Netherlands is a blood sport, and Wilders has just stabbed his own team. Even sympathetic parties may now see him as too volatile, too vengeful, in short, too much like himself. But his importance transcends Dutch politics. Across Europe, the Wilders playbook is being copied. Exaggerate the impact of immigration, demand maximalist policies, and collapse governments when reality bites. We see it in Maloney's Italy, in Le Pen's France, and in Nigel Farage's Twitter feed on a daily basis. This episode is not just about borders. It's about the capacity of modern democracies to govern in coalition, to compromise, to resist theatrically. And the Netherlands, a country built on dikes and consensus, is now listing under the weight of its most belligerent son. And the language is changing. Migration is no longer about policy, but about purity. The asylum seeker becomes the scapegoat, the Muslim a menace, the refugee a cipher for national weakness. Wilders turns complexity into caricature, a talent that is electorally potent but democratically corrosive. Geert Wilders may not become prime minister, but he's already changed the terms of the debate, not just in the Netherlands, but across the West. And the danger is not merely that he governs badly, it's that his message, the governance itself, is less important than identity, becomes the new norm. And we look ahead to the snap election. The question is not whether Wilders will shout louder, it's whether his opponents can offer something more than platitudes and panic. Immigration must be managed, yes, but not mythologized, and democracy must be defended, but not with laws and courts, but with courage. We need everything. We need the full gamut, and to reduce everything down to a mere slogan, à la Farage, à la Wilders, is to live in a caricature.